What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another week of the Writers' Room presented to you by Breaking and Entering. I'm Alan Hallis, and I'm joined, as always, by my River West cohort, host of the Mr. Nice Guy podcast, music director for Breaking and Entering, and all-around nice guy, Ben Slowey. How you doing today, bub?
Hey, dude. I'm good. I'm having another cup of Joe. You know, it's that time of day.
I like it. I am also caffeinating up with a Red Bull. They have not paid us for this, but they should. But it's one of those kind of days. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, I think I know a guy who could hook it up with the Red Bull.
Okay.
Just kidding. He used to work for Red Bull. I don't think he does anymore. But that would be cool. I mean, Red Bull's one of those things that I enjoy, but I'd never just spend my money on it. It has to be offered to me. But once in a while, Red Bull's good.
I live down the street from a gas station, and now that is the worst impulse decision ever. Is because I can just walk around the corner and get whatever kind of snack or drink or whatever just right there. And then there's a liquor store right across from that, so that only makes things worse. So, location. But, yeah, I'm dealing with this terrible cold snap that we've got outside. And fortunately, it's given us a lot of time to sit inside and listen to music and do anything about that. You're hanging in there in River West?
Yeah, dude. Like you just said, I mean, going outside is painful. So I'm avoiding at all costs, having to bundle up and go out. And, it's been a really weird time because we're coming up on the year anniversary soon of when COVID all hit.
Yes.
And that is just so hard to absorb. I've been processing that this week that holy shit, we have just been cooped up and haven't seen a proper show out in the music scene in almost a year. And I get it, it's we got to do what we got to do, but it is tormenting. I've been talking about it a lot of Mr. Nice Guy lately, how much we miss live music.
Yeah, I saw somebody post one of those statuses that's what was your first concert? What's your best concert? You know what I mean? And the last show. And the last show, I really think that was a proper one. Was I think Friday the 13th, March 13th of last year. You and I both saw Twan Mac. And I've been to a couple things that have had live music in between, but I wouldn't necessarily call them proper shows. So it does feel absolutely insane to say that, here we are a year after what we thought. I mean, but I guess this is what we're living in. But, I mean, there's good things that have come out of it. We've got this show, which we literally just started as an Instagram Live saying, hey, let's call each other and see how we're doing for that month of quarantine that we thought we were going to have.
Yeah, literally, we just kind of, missed each other. So we had a little live call, and now it just, became a routine of our week, which I'm glad for. And like you said, I mean, yes, it's freezing, and it's just a barren wasteland outside, but I've been listening to a ton of music, and a lot of it being from Milwaukee, but quite a bit, just crossing things off the list, getting into a lot of experimental and ambient music, which I think is perfect for this time of year.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of great hip-hop videos.
Yes.
And we've got a surplus of them to share on the Writers' Room.
Yes, we do, and we are going to start with one of them. This is a little bit more of a recent video. This is from Moses and Mike Croft from their incredible project, Truth Highlighted in Song, This. So this is Once Upon a Clever Rhyme. Check it out on the Writers' Room.
In the valley where the Jeeps be, where the stakes high and the lakes wide, and the sound of crashing tides are reminiscent of bass lines. Once upon a clever rhyme that lived in man. You may not know him like I know him, but you'll understand. He was raised by a single mother. Pops on some other shit. Left him and his younger brother. Right for a younger chick, get the jackpot, pop split with his split. Cause of this, son was greedy for attention, looking for acceptance, covered by his covetousness. He laid in with misconception, and her twin sisters misguided in misdirection. Directed his erection, married a woman that birthed to see by C-section. Her love is received, his response unreceptive, neglecting her affection. Hated walking past mirrors, rejecting his reflection. First was in the face of the parent, the one that left him. No more discretion with his alcohol obsession. 100 proof oppressor, oppressing a love connection. Last night's inebriation left her lasting impression, and an act of aggression which fueled her depression. Left for dear John Letter 10 carrots on the dresser. In the valley where the Jeeps be, where the stakes high and the lakes wide, and the sound of crashing tides are reminiscent of bass lines. Once upon a clever rhyme. Once upon a clever rhyme. Once upon a clever rhyme. Once upon a clever rhyme.
It's just words. Nouns, adjectives. They just happen to be in a dope order.
Alright, that was Moses and Mike Croft. I really love that project. Everything about how that all came together. I know that they might have another EP on the way, too. But got to keep that hush-hush, because the last that I heard from, they still had a couple things left to finish up on that project. But a lot of great music coming out of Milwaukee, a lot of great things that are landing on breakingandentering.net this week. And let me tell you, I've got the iPad out to cheat again, just because there's so many things that we've had drop in. We've got new music we got a new video today from Paper Stacks featuring the Oshi, which I really, really liked. I liked everything about it, and I thought this is very promising to be the future of Milwaukee hip-hop, because there's a billion rappers. If you look through, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Spotify, all of that stuff, YouTube especially, there's a million, Milwaukee rappers, and they never really seem to, hit a topic from start to finish on their verse. But I really liked this video because they were on, one single message from start to finish, which you don't really get from, it's just a nature of hip hop in general. So really liked that. We got music. You got a metal album from Toxic Ruin that hit the website today.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, it's just the first single off of their upcoming album. But yes, that band is out of Sheboygan. And, we every couple weeks we get a couple metal bands that come out of the woodwork with absolute brutality and just fierce, just blistering momentum. And that's great. I think a lot of people need that. A lot of people need something that's cathartic, something that takes those complex and conflicting emotions into something that's just so, vicious and powerful. And so I think, metal music is probably helping a lot of people out these days.
Yeah, definitely.
I can tell you so far this week we've got, today I put the new record out for C. Batty.
Okay.
Beatty. I hope I'm saying that. She's she's an ambient drone artist and makes gorgeous ethereal soundscapes that just feel like you're walking through a summer meadow, and I've been really enjoying that, those really tranquil drones right now. That's been helpful.
You kind of got the extremes on both sides. You got tranquil, calm music, and then you've got crazy metal happening too.
Oh yeah, I covered the drone ambient thing right before getting into Toxic Ruin.
So your headspace was completely very chill, and then all of a sudden you just had dudes screaming at you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's my morning routine. Constant fluctuation of vibes there.
Yes, for sure.
We got the new Weird Storm EP that dropped on Friday. That thing is amazing. Latin-centric indie rock. You actually, so I want to take a moment to talk about Dave Kevin Adam.
Yes, because I was actually just about to talk about that too. Second project of the year. I am so stoked on what he is doing with this project.
Yeah, like he's got such a like consistent and really dope output. You know, he did those like Cactus tapes with Max Morose
Yeah.
in the last year. But this new project that he just put out on last Friday is the most like focused and intentional I feel like he's ever been.
Okay.
And it's yeah, like you could just tell like he really knows what he wants.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of brought him onto my radar, honestly. The first time that you sent me over some stuff from him. And I was just like, okay, who is this dude? And, like, I didn't have a visual to go with it, so I really didn't know, like, what he even looked like, what he sounded like. I just had the record itself. And it's very, like, chill, lo-fi, but experimental, in the sense of, like, it still has the structure of traditional hip-hop, but, like, taking it a little bit left field, which I always like. And yeah, everything about that EP was super, super good. And that's his second one of the year, so I'm hyped for that.
Yeah, he's a very abstract poet, which I like about him, you know. And yeah, at first you're like, who's this guy with 3 first names?
Yes,
but
exactly.
Then you learn he's about business.
Yeah, we also have a brand new single from Gorilla Ghost that came out. It is Wesley Snipes in Mo Better Blues. And I actually, so I was like, when I saw the name of this, I went, wait a minute, wasn't their last song Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man? And so when you click on their new EP, which is coming out next month, it is Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man, Wesley Snipes in Mo Better Blues, and all of them, it's the Tremaine EP, all of them are Wesley Snipes in different movies for the whole project. So I'm excited for that. And they're doing this cool like 12-inch lathe cut thing on a limited run. They're always different, you know, when they put out stuff. So looking forward to that too.
Dude, yeah, Triple I Industries loves those lathe cuts. They're heavy on the lathe cuts.
I've got one up here somewhere in the wall of records. I'll have to pull it down at some point. But yeah.
For sure. Another one I really wanted to quickly touch on is we got a song from the New Gray, which is a band we haven't heard a lot about in the last year. But
Yeah.
That's a band that's doing something pretty interesting. You know, there's not a lot of like hip hop rock fusions going on in
Right.
the Milwaukee scene, and it's kind of cool to see them, you know, breathe fresh air into that like territory, and like it's a very like their new song is a massive pump up song, so definitely great to like, you know, wake up a little bit.
Yeah, I always associate that band for whatever reason with like summer. They've played Air in the Square out in the Third Ward for us at least once, maybe twice. But I always associate that band with, you know, just like a very fun, chill kind of show. And I also really associate all their music with like live music, like hearing them, you know, they really thrive in the live setting and being able to watch them deliver just the kind of atmosphere that they bring. And you can kind of hear that on the recordings, but I think, you know, I cannot wait for us to go outside so I can go see that band specifically live again.
Yeah, shout out to the New Gray, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also got to talk about Wave Chappelle is dropping new singles every week for the whole year. And
In a different color pack.
for every month, yeah, which, what a great idea. I got to talk to him a little bit about that. You might hear that on an upcoming episode of Breaking and Entering Radio. But every month is going to have a different color. It's going to have a different feel to it. So January was the red pack, so he dropped that after all, 4 or 5 songs that he dropped in January, I think 5. And then 4 for February is the orange pack. So we got the first one from that. I got to hear that today. It's up on breakingandentering.net today. He's not missing. Like, you know what I mean? He's coming for it when he puts out material. So a year's worth of it I'm excited for.
Dude, that man looks are so killer, and like he's also really racking up like collabs too.
Yeah.
Like he's not like self-indulgent or anything with his music. Like he's very much about like being around people that just match his energy. And I think it's interesting how he's picked like the warm colors for the cold months.
Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna get? Like purple in July or some shit? I don't know.
Purple, blue, like a lot of navy, dark blue. Maybe you'll get more introspective with it, but I'm not mad at it. I'm cool with the warmer stuff. Kicking off the start of the year.
Next month is chartreuse.
Ooh, I like that. I do like the idea of essentially having a color for every month that he's putting out with all these packs. I told him it's basically like having 12 EPs that you're putting out within the course of a year, which is insane to think about. So
yeah, like we've seen similar outputs like that from a couple Milwaukee artists like Genesis Renji
yep.
and 608 Trace, like artists that have just so consistently dropped like over a massive window of time, but that's really impressive that he's committing himself to that. So
yeah,
we're gonna have to stay on top of all of that.
Yeah, that's gonna be so I that's one of the things though from a coverage standpoint. I think it was every Monday I was putting out the new Genesis Renji or every Tuesday because it was always dropping on Monday. So I was doing that for his whole quarantine pack. So I'm gonna have to watch for Wave Chappelle and see what he does next. It does keep you interested. And I think that hip-hop in particular moves, 10 times faster than every other genre of music, just because that's the culture of it all. And so to put out a song every week, A, takes a lot of fucking effort, but B, to have the discipline to like drop every week and stay on people's top of mind and things like that for a whole year, super commendable. So I hope he does it, they makes it happen. So.
Watch it every single week.
Yes. And you can watch it at breakingandentering.net as well. Let's get into our second video of this week. This is more on the indie rock kind of side of things. It's Complex Machine. She Comes to Me Again. Ben, I believe you covered this one for the site.
Yeah. Indie rock band that it's kind of like reminds you of like a lot of our favorite 2000s indie rock bands, like Strokes, Interpol, like that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
But with a modern flair, and the way that they edited this video is pretty cool.
Yep, a lot of cool scenes of Milwaukee in it as well. So, without further ado, let's check out Complex Machine. This is She Comes to Me Again. It's on the Writers' Room.
Of you, I thought it through and through. I didn't want to think it true. I couldn't get it
that was Complex Machine with She Comes to Me Again. Very much, like you said, in that style of like early 2000s kind of indie rock. And I was actually talking with Patrick Carroll, one of the people that, you know, helps work on Breaking and Entering, about that specific genre of like indie rock, that specific time frame of like early 2000s. Like, if you had to name it, what would you try and call like that kind of specific little subgenre?
I guess, like, in some ways you could call it, like, I mean, garage rock, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I should know what this, but like, the best I could come up with was like fuzzy indie. I don't know,
Yeah.
like, it just all kind of sounds like very lo-fi, very, you know, I'm sure somebody is watching this, like, screaming at us what the, like, proper subgenre is.
There's probably some rock historian that's tuned in that's like, what are these bozos talking about?
Justin Barney specifically is probably watching this and screaming at us going, it's called post-punk sub whatever, you know. But no.
Yeah, absolutely disgusted.
Yes.
But I'm looking forward to what those guys are doing. Because they're working on a record too. So, you know, always love to see bands that are breathing fresh air into rock music. I mean, there's so many great rock bands in Milwaukee. Some are, you know, more in the DIY scene. Some are, you know, out in like Waukesha. Some are, you know, playing gigs every week normally. You know,
Yeah.
There's no shortage of good rock music in Milwaukee, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be more of a resurgence of it, especially coming out of the pandemic. We already talked about Weird Storm. We talked about a couple other bands that are you know, really kind of kicking things back up again. I do think that for a little bit right before the pandemic hit, like, bands were a little bit harder to come by as far as like big rock bands here in Milwaukee. The bands that came to mind for me were like Whips and Gold, and obviously Gold moved down south. Whips kind of just dissolved. You know, there's a lot of bands that like they were there and then they just weren't, you know, and we didn't really hear a lot from them. So I think, yeah, coming out of this, we're going to get a resurgence of a lot of new great bands that we will be checking out and probably playing here on the Writers' Room. Now is the point of the show where we usually give you guys some homework, and we go through our extensive vinyl collections, and we find something. We just pick a record at random, completely blindfolded, completely random. Ben runs through his apartment, doesn't trash anything. It's amazing. It's like a weird talent he's got. And he grabs a record at random. I pick from the stack behind me, and those are the albums you got to listen to next week. So Ben's are usually, you know, more in the more recent area. Mine go back to God knows how far back. So, Ben, would you like to go first this week with your random record, or should I?
You can go first.
Okay.
In your primitive, historic, and ancient collection.
Watch me grab like a record from like 2 years ago, because I am still buying new vinyl all the time.
Why don't you grab like a 1920s sound experiment?
What is the oldest record I can find here? No, I don't know. I could probably go back to at least the 40s or the 50s. So let's see, what do we pull out today? I'm going up high, so we're going early in the alphabet. Feel a leathery cover happening here.
Okay.
That's good quality. That's what that is. It's good quality.
Yeah, that's probably a little less ancient.
Nope, it's very ancient. It was not leathery at all. It was just really hard cardboard. I picked out Joan Baez's Diamonds and Rust. So, this is apparently a record that I have that has a lot of wear into it, none of it from me. I don't really know a ton about Joan Baez other than she's a famous classic folk singer. There's a lot of lyrics on the back. So, real big singer-songwriter stuff.
Has a lot to say.
She's got a lot to say, and it's on this record. Let me tell you. Yeah, no, this thing is it's a little beat up, but, you know, it's one of the better ones, I think, in probably her discography, if I have it in my thing. My record looks like it's in pretty decent condition. Normally, once in a while, we have some weird hidden gems that we're able to pull out, like some 45s or some other stuff. I just broke it. I just broke the record sleeve a little bit. So but
You might want to like return that to its place before it gets, further, before it just like shatters.
Yeah, that might not be the worst thing in the world, but that's my record that we got for this week. Released on the AM Records label, which, man, that is a name that has not been around for a while. AM Recordings. We got a lyric sheet. We don't got much else other than that. Nothing else too crazy in this one. But Joan Baez, Diamonds and Rust. Go listen to it this week. Ben, what do you got for us? Don't break your record like I just did.
I think I'll be good here. Great choice. Godspeed you, Black Emperor. Lift your skinny fists like antennas to heaven.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is an album name.
A lot of words. So for those that are not familiar with Godspeed You, Black Emperor, they are a seminal post-rock band that are Canadian. They're based in Montreal. And they are like a huge collective of musicians. I saw them in concert at Turner Hall about 5 years ago now. Yeah, 5 years ago. And there's like, a lot of people in that band, a lot of people on stage, playing all kinds of different like unusual and eccentric instruments.
I like it.
But they incorporate elements of drone and noise and just experimental rock. Really massive soundscapes, very political. They're very, very like anti-establishment and like anti-capitalist in their thematics and very anti-war. And I got a picture, a photograph of a helicopter flying out over a tree in the back.
Sweet.
But this is a pretty sad record. Like, it's not something that you want to put on to like
turn up.
get ready to start your day.
Yeah.
Or turn up.
Yeah.
This is something it's something to like close your eyes and lay in bed to like at night, like with all the lights turned off.
Okay, well, I mean, hey, it's dark, it's shitty and cold out. You know what? This might be the time for that sort of thing.
Yeah, so put this record on tonight and lose yourself in the, absolute storms. One of the songs is actually called Storm.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Absolute storms of really abrasive soundscapes.
Very cool. Really quick, in an aside that has nothing to do with basically anything. You mentioned Godspeed You Black Emperor has a ton of people in that band. Are you familiar? You're familiar with the Polyphonic Spree, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I feel like in the middle of this broadcast is one of the safe spaces that I can say this on the internet and will not get exposed too badly. But if you go on Wikipedia for the Polyphonic Spree, I was bored at work one time, and this was a few years ago, and you can just edit Wikipedia, and there are so many members of the Polyphonic Spree that I had slipped my name in, and so since like 2016-ish, roughly, I have been a member of the Polyphonic Spree, according to Wikipedia. So this is the safe place. I feel like I can't put that out there too far in case, somebody goes and edits it back, but for whoever's watching right now, I'm a percussion member of the Polyphonic Spree.
That's pretty hilarious. I'm gonna look that up to see if it's still there.
I hope it still is. I really do. In the meantime, we just showed you a Joan Baez record and then Godspeed You Black Emperor. Let's play a video that has nothing to do with any of that.
It's purge everything we just said.
Yes, exactly. This is a new one from Montre. The song is called Back of This Uber. You can make your own assumptions on what goes on in the back of the Uber. It's directed by Philly Flyboy, who is a Milwaukee hip-hop legend in the videography game. So make sure you check it out. This is Montre, Back of This Uber. Check it out.
Girl, we ain't way too lit. Tell me how we gon' make it to the crib. Ooh. On top of that, girl, you look so good. With that red lipstick on your lips. Ooh. Can't wait no longer. Girl, I wanna give it to you right now. Can't wait no longer. Tell me if you're down for a little PDA. The bedroom is like 30 minutes away. The driver won't know if we play. You gon' get good loving. Don't you make a sound. You gon' get good loving. Girl, it's going down. He might get 5 stars and a tip if he ain't like it. Tell me if you're down for a little PDA. The bedroom is like 30 minutes away. Tell me if you're down for a little foreplay. The driver already got paid. You gon' get good loving. Don't you make a sound. You gon' get good loving. Girl, it's going down. You gon' get good loving. In the back of this, you gon' get good loving. Now, you gon' get good loving. Now, you gon' get good
Alright, that was Montre with Back of This Uber. I know it doesn't look like it from that video and doesn't really sound like it. He is one of the most humble, like, caring, like, nice dudes when you get to meet him. And we had him on a show now years ago because of the pandemic, but we had him on a show and he was just like the most down-to-earth guy, and for whatever reason, like any pretense that you would have, he like checked that at the door immediately. He's a family guy, and he's a really, really nice dude.
Yeah, and he's really funny too. I had a good time interviewing him on Mr. Nice Guy a couple months ago, and yeah, he makes just such like we talked in the past about how Milwaukee's R&B scene, for a while there wasn't much going on with it, but you know, he was always one of like those figures that kind of like kept it grounded.
Yep.
And he just makes like such like atmospheric and sexy and just really vibrant music that is, you know, kind of reinforced with Back of This Uber.
Yeah. And I think the rebrand, you know, as Montre as opposed to Trey, you know, maybe is a new side of him, but I like it. I like where he's going with it. I'm excited to hear more of it for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So, with that said, we should talk really, really quickly. I know you gotta get on out of here because you got an episode to tape, but we got new episodes of Mr. Nice Guy coming out too, right?
We sure do. I have a goal here to not get too backlogged. I mean, I still have a lot of episodes, but I want to just stay consistent and keep them coming out every single day. But yeah, we've got a handful of them out so far, including one so far that's been on the site, Tebe,
Yep.
hip-hop artist, who makes music for the girlies.
That's how she puts it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about it in the episode, but her music's super fun and poppy, and also just gives no fucks. But we got plenty more coming up in the chamber that I'm excited to share with the world, with the community, with breaking and entering, and
And look for him soon. Go subscribe to him.
Hell yeah, it'll be a roller coaster.
Yeah. So that is it for this episode of The Writer's Room. Normally we give you a little bit of wisdom here at the end of the show. We're going to keep it brief. That's what we've been doing as of late. I will keep it very brief. Fuck the cold. I am so ready for like summer, and I don't know, just for whatever reason today I had like a feeling that I just wanted to just grill out and have some friends over, and I cannot wait for summer. So that's my wisdom for this week. Fuck the cold.
There you go. Yeah, cold's terrible. My advice is to do your taxes. Like, I did mine last week, and I just want some freaking money already. Because this time of year is just so desolate, and I'm broke as shit. So I did my taxes because I want, I just, need more money right now. And thankfully, because I've been on unemployment, that is taxable income. So for everyone who's watching who has collected unemployment since the pandemic, you might be getting a really good return.
There you go.
So do it, get it over with. It'll take like less than an hour if you just, stay focused. And
And in the meantime,
thank me later.
book Ben for your press releases, your artist bios, things like this. You can book him on Fiverr, so make sure you do that as well. And check out the Mr. Nice Guy podcast while you're at it. And you can check out new music every single day from both of us at breakingandentering.net. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, all the things that are streaming right there in that corner of the screen. You can follow us on all of those sorts of things. We got a radio show on Spotify. We got a podcast that's coming back soon. We got a weekly e-newsletter. Literally all of the internet we are taking over. We stream this show every Tuesday at 5 o'clock. We are in the same space that you are watching us right now. So if you're watching us on Facebook, we'll be there every week. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're there. Twitch is the best place to find us, though. And if you're watching us for the music video blocks, you can subscribe to our Twitch, because we've got that every Friday, Saturday morning, randomly on Mondays or Wednesdays. I'll just throw some music videos on. So subscribe to us on Twitch, because we're doing a lot of cool things there, and we got a lot more on the way from the vault as well coming there. So without further ado, we're gonna head out, because Ben needs to go rest his voice. He's got to go tape an interview in 19 minutes. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week on The Writer's Room.